We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
That,
Got it.
you
That's
got
what it
it?
asked me to say. Yeah, it says recording in progress. Got it.
Hey, we're back.
We are.
We're
But anyhow,
really
before we
back.
get too far,
Oh yeah.
now you understand how time travel works.
Well, I'm glad you put a period on that because I was saying all along, okay, your explanation was very helpful and I understood it, but you kept waxing on. I was like, I didn't know how to get out of
Well,
that.
yeah, that guy Einstein, he was on to something.
And we talked about that, his eyebrows. He could have used a Flowbee. Is it Flowbee? Flowbee?
No, now you got it in my head.
Flowme? No, that's something
Flow,
else. Flowbee? What was that?
Flowbee, the
Alexa,
Flowbee. Oh
what is
Lord.
the name of the self-cutting haircut device?
From Yinsbury.com. Pre-Clip is one of the easiest self-hair cutting tools on the market.
Alexa, stop.
All right, stop. You're
Alexa,
already
volume 10. Alexa, what is a Flowbee?
From Kittle.co. Flowbee is a locality in Falköping municipality in Västra Götaland County in Sweden.
Okay. Alexa,
Yeah,
stop. Alexa,
geez.
volume 10.
It's Flowbee, factory direct home hair cutting system. I see it online.
Flowbee?
Flowbee, Flowbee. I'll put it on the the
Is that
YouTube
the
podcast.
vacuum thing?
Yeah. Well, I assume it is. I didn't click on it, but I was going to explain it to our younger listeners because we have so many. That the idea was you'd put a vacuum nozzle on your head and it would pull your hair up straight, and mom or dad could just zip along.
No, it had clippers in it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess you're right.
That was was it a Ron Popeil product?
It could have been the early days of infomercials. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I'll put a picture of it up. It comes with its own vacuum now.
They're still selling those things?
Yes. Let me see if I can quickly get a price. Well, holy cow. I mean, you can get the Flowbee Super Mini Vac for $80, but the Flowbee system, which yeah, it's the hose and the integrated clipper with the nozzles and everything. That's 100, not without vacuum. This is using your own vacuum. That's $150. But if you want the whole kit, it's $200, Dave. But think, I mean, come on, Amir, how much are you paying for a haircut these days?
I'm a senior citizen, so I get the $14 cut.
$14.
Is that a lot?
What do you tip them, $1 when you're done?
No, I'm a 20% guy.
Oh yeah. For haircuts, it's a little bit more.
$2.80. I hand her $3 and she goes, "Thank you." I'm going, "No, 20 cents, lady."
I want 2 dimes back.
I'm gonna need to hold the dimes. I don't do that. That's
I go to a I used to go to a barber shop down here. Which was 20.
Wow. You're
$20.
City.
Yeah.
I think it's 16.
But I got to be, and then through a series of events, now I go to sports clips. And it's
you like the hot towels?
No, I don't do any of that garbage. They always say, you want the hot towel massage and stuff?
Drink while you're there?
No, you can't drink. I probably could have at the barber shop. I definitely could have.
I think the sports clips, they do the hot towels, right? And the girls run around in the little dolphin shorts.
No. It's not that.
It's a different place.
Yeah, I don't know I don't think any do that anymore.
I think there was one here that tried to open up and had like lots of like the NFL package on the TVs, and they had hot towels on your face and they shaved you and all that stuff.
They'll do like they'll do a hair wash and a neck massage, but they have those stupid, bulk massagers you see at the stores or whatever. So
the great clips that I go to, they charge you for the shampoo.
Yeah, that's what this place does,
it's
right? If you want the
cart.
super package or whatever it is, the MVP.
Like I'm going through one of those car washes, you got to push all the different buttons.
Speaking of, there used to be topless car washes. Remember those?
I just want to get my undercarriage clean. That's all.
You should mention that. Do you do undercarriage?
Are you going to do the wax treatment?
Come on, Dave. This is a professional kids show.
Professional kids show.
Yes, that's twice.
Is this a union gig?
professional kid show.
Well, I didn't say we started to, but you cut me off. All right, we're back. And for those of you that opined, is that the right word?
I think so. Sounds
that
right.
We weren't around. It was Thanksgiving, for God's sakes. You know,
we didn't have a plan to not do a show. We actually planned on doing the Wednesday night, Wednesday night convening of minds.
Yeah, but you had people and I had people, right?
Yeah, my daughter came into town and my son as well, and they all wanted to go out for dinner. Oh. And who was I to say no, especially since beer was involved? Oh. And we went to So I called you up.
All your people of age?
And all but one now. So my dinners have gotten exponentially more expensive now.
Yeah, man, I tell you, I'm not complaining about it, but so my daughter came home from school with two of her golf teammates. Mm-hmm. She's a senior this year, my daughter. So she had one of the girls. By the way, we have 2 new listeners, and it's them.
Welcome.
2 new subscribers.
Oh, great.
They wanted something from me, and I said, look, okay, here's the deal. I'm willing to do my part, but they're going to need to subscribe to my show.
Okay. There you go.
So they're like, what is it? And so I'm looking, they're yelling at me, look at your subscriptions. And there's 2 new people.
Oh, awesome. Hey, little tip for them. Keep your head down and keep an eye on the ball.
Yeah. That's what they hear a lot. But anyway, so I'm not going to tell you the names, but one of the girls is from an island far, far away that was accused of potentially tipping over by one of our senators from Georgia. If you remember that newsreel. But anyway, so she's a pilot. She's got her commercial airline pilot. Yeah, she did all this while she was at school. She's a senior as well.
Is she going to be a pilot?
Well, she wants to get her a job.
A friend of mine's son is doing that. I'm jealous. I'm jealous and I'm not jealous, but go ahead.
Well, it's pretty cool because she takes her girlfriends up for flights because she got to get the hours, right?
Yeah.
And so Sarah sends me this clip, and I'm like, I would have been scared crapless to go up with a friend of mine. Yeah. All my friends, that were.
We had a fraternity brother in our time who was getting his pilot's license.
Who?
I could picture him, but I can't come up with his name.
Would you fly with him?
No, only because he would tell us all the things he would do with the plane when he was flying, like stall it and things of that and that nature. And he was he was an engineer, very smart. But the stories he would tell us about his training, and I'm like, no. There's no way I'm getting on there.
I just wouldn't trust anyone.
Jeff, I think his name was Jeff.
I don't know.
I'll have to look him up. I'll look him up.
So she sends me these videos of she's flying over to the Western PA, and I'm like, who's the pilot and what are you doing?
Why are you that?
Are you in this thing by yourself or whatever? So
yeah,
but they're trusting. I got a parachute. Yeah. She's very good. And then the other gal is from a small town. We got to do this, by the way. She's from Dillsburg, I think it is, PA. It's right outside of Harrisburg.
Oh, in the middle of the state there.
Yeah, but they have a. Hold on a second.
Yeah, but does she know Larry Holmes?
I didn't ask her. That's interesting. Yeah. What's this thing? Alexis.
Alexis.
What is this? What was that TV show? Dallas. Alexa, what is Dillsburg, Pennsylvania famous for?
Some popular points of interest near Dillsburg, Pennsylvania are Williams Grove Amusement Park, U.S. Army Heritage and Education Center, Gifford Pinchot State Park, Hessian Powder Magazine, and Liberty Forge Arboretum.
Hessian, what was the magazine?
I don't know. Alexa, what festival happens in Dillsburg, PA?
From worldatlas.com. La Tomatina Festival happens annually in the month of August.
That's in Italy.
Something about the dill pickle. All right, well, last time. Alexa, is there anything about dill pickles in Dillsburg, PA?
From PennLive.com. Pickles are no stranger to Central PA, which is home to the Dillsburg Pickle Fest.
There you go, Central
PA. So it only took you 15 different
she's an idiot.
ways to get Alexa to tell you that.
She's an idiot.
You could have just told us right from the get-go.
Well, I wasn't sure. The girl told me, and I'm like, am I supposed to believe you? And I don't know. But anyway, so the name of the town is Dillsburg, and they have a pickle fest apparently.
I used to go to the Kutztown Fair.
What do they do in Cookstown?
Kutz, Kutz, Kutztown. Is an Amish festival.
Cheese, curds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Prayer books, shawls, wheels, wagon wheels.
Buggy whips.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Buckboards.
Yes. Yeah, to tow your riprap to the
now we're saying stuff that people are tuning in the first time, like, what the hell are they talking about?
Well, I do have some Are We Idiots bits
right.
if we want to get back to that at some point.
Well, yeah, let's do that in a second. But I guess the question, this sounds kind of corny, but now that we're old, what are you thankful for, Woody? Is there something about this past week that you just kind of reflected upon?
Well,
and said, I'm really thankful.
Let's get past the usuals, friendships, and
I hope you would say
family and everything of that sort. But now you've put me on the spot.
You want to think about it? I got a couple things.
Go ahead. Yeah, maybe it'll inspire me to be thankful for something.
Well, usually I'm a cheapskate. First of all,
not compared to me. I'll out cheap you. I'll out cheap you any day.
No, I'm not a cheapskate. I'm frugal. I don't mind spending a dime, but I'm frugal. And so when I found out that she was bringing friends down, I told my wife, said, look, there's no limit. We're going to go and have a good time. And so we rented I wanted a van because we could all be comfortable, but we ended up being a pickup truck, a 4-door pickup truck.
Oh, well, that answers my question I had for you. Keep going.
Okay. So we had an F-150 Ford, which was actually kind of cool. Yeah. The girls sat 3 across the back seat and my wife and I up front.
It wasn't a new electric.
No, I said, It's got to be gas. And so
it's so many angles I could go.
So I'm not going to tell you all the details, but we went out to grandmother's place at the beach. And so we just put on the tourist hat. You know, when I lived in Orlando, people would come into town to visit and they were expecting you to show them the town. So we went out to dinner every night. One of the girls turned 21. The rest of them were 21. So we went out for beverages and did a little pub crawl.
You mean like soda pops?
Yeah, no. I was a designated driver and no one got out of hand. It was I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my daughter and her friends who are 21 and yet they're not where I was when I was 21.
Yeah, I think that is a generational thing. I do, because I see the same quality in my kids.
Yeah, they just look at that lifestyle differently. And when I was 21, I was living in London and I was drunk every night. I mean, drunk. Not that was bad.
Like drunk.
I don't know how else to say.
I just wanted to keep going.
I wasn't falling down,
like drunk.
I wasn't stumbling drunk.
Right.
A couple times.
Well, how do you know?
That's true. No, but I mean, it was more of a central focus of mine. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like I went out with a sickness about it. It's just that was our lifestyle. We went out for drinks and we had a few.
Yeah.
But these kids, they may have 1 or 2 and it wasn't that big a deal and they didn't need it. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm thankful for that. They make good decisions and they're smart young ladies. They got great future ahead of them. And I'm just thankful. I don't know if that's something I had to do with it. You know, as far as a parent, I like to take some credit for it. I give most of my credit for my wife, though.
I mean, I'm not blaming my parents, right, for my actions when I turned 21, but I'm saying it was a part of my decision making when I turned 21. But growing up, you know, I was the youngest grandkid. I was the youngest everything for a considerable amount of time. And so I always had a hankering to be part of the big kids, if you will. And I was always regaled by the stories of how much, you know, they went out and had, you know, they got drunk and they did this. And it was so, you know, they regaled us with these stories my whole youth. So when I turned 21, I was ready to do, you know, have those same kind of stories to share later in life. So I made it a point that, you know, around in fact, I really didn't drink very much at all from the birth of my first child till she was until my youngest was at least in his teens. Then I started having a beer again with dinners and things of that nature. And now I'm back to full alcoholism at this point. Now that they're all out house. Yeah, exactly. And my wife always called them goobers because they're instead of Uber driver, they're your goober driver.
Well,
so
I get it.
Yeah, so I made a point to not regale them with making drinking and going out and acting like an ass something great,
Yeah, I don't regret the things that I didn't.
I don't either.
Break any laws or
I didn't want to make
it
sound wonderful though. Either.
Yeah.
So
and I'm glad that she went away to a school. She chose the school based on a criteria that she's lived out. All her career. She's a senior this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just super proud of her and the people that she surrounded herself with. That they've made good choices. I mean, they're not squares. They haven't missed anything,
Right.
But they've made good, sound choices, and they're better for it, by all means. Sarah was saying something to me. I can't remember the conversation we were in because I was drinking. No,
I was pretty loaded at the time.
I was ripped. No, so we were saying something to the fact that, in our faith, for example, that she has a personal religious faith that I have too, but mine didn't come till later in years. And so she is a very mature, faithful person at 21, which is really the big difference. And I'm not here to soapbox or preach, but she has
amen, brother. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
She has a maturity level that I didn't have.
May still not have.
Well, yeah. And that's another thing I'm thankful for. So I mean, you don't get to see this until you're to your dad or mom or dad or a parent, and it's just, I don't know, it's just something that's pretty cool. It was a good week. If the girls are listening tonight or whenever or watching this, I'm thankful for you guys. It was a great week with you guys. I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I hope you had some fun with us. And that's where I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I'm thankful for heroin and cocaine.
Well, Eric Clapton made some money off of it.
Most of us did. I almost said. I mean,
imagine heroin. Think about what it would take to do heroin.
That's my that's my go-to when people say, "Oh, I need a cup of coffee." I'll say, "Oh, I could use some more heroin." I say, "Yeah, that's my go-to off-the-wall comment to get people."
What's the movie Airplane? Picked a bad day.
Yeah, I picked a bad day.
Shooting heroin.
Right. He starts with cigarettes. He finishes the end of the movie with cocaine
with huffing glue.
Yeah, bad week. Quit huffing glue.
But maybe that's where this comes from. We lived in a.
I don't know.
Because that was funny. The Airplane, people joked about getting drunk and stewed.
The 70s was nothing but cocaine. It was as common as cigarettes were.
Apparently, the Biden in the White House, it's pretty common too.
Well, one particular Biden. Yes, I agree. Hey,
I don't know how I escaped all that stuff. That never was. I know how. I had an older brother. I have an older brother who was a mess, a train wreck.
Oh, okay.
And I told my parents I'd never do that stuff because it inflicted a lot of pain on them. Boy, we're getting kind of deep today, but
yeah. Well, I never liked anything that altered my, I shouldn't say decision making, because alcohol can have it, but I didn't like where my mind was out of body,
out of control.
Yeah, I scared the hell out of me, and I never wanted anything like that. So maybe I'm a teetotaler for that reason. But
no, I think you got to have a limit, right? You got to draw the line somewhere. Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to be a slugabed.
A slugabed?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
Is this an idiot thing?
Are you an idiot? You don't know that word?
A slugabed?
Yes.
That's not like Luddite.
No, I don't know that word. But I saw this one go across. It's. I thought it would be
thinker.
It's a lazy person who stays in bed late.
That sounds like a new word.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But, when I saw it, I'm like, well, that's got to, well, I saw it used in a sentence, so it made me look it up. But in the context of the sentence, I read it in, I'm like, it's got to be something about lazier. But it was in the dictionary. So does that make it official?
I don't know. You don't know what Luddite is? It Luddite?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on. Alexa, define Luddite.
Luddite usually refers to a member of any of various bands of workers in England, 1811-16, organized to destroy manufacturing machinery, under the belief that its use diminished employment. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for Luddite.
Yeah, isn't that the guy that's against technology, right?
Oh, I spelled it different in my lookup. I did LEAD, like lead-ite.
Yeah.
And that's a pipe joint compound. But you said you're spelling it LEDITE,
I think
right?
it's LU, Luddite.
LUDDITE.
Yeah,
that's what
she
gave
remember. You. Our people are like, wow, I'm glad we missed last week because we didn't miss anything.
Could have talked about turkeys, but here's one that came up, and I think it's been around a long time, but was not used and maybe you've heard it recently, but I never heard it, and I used these a ton as a kid. Balaclava.
Baklava?
No, not the Greek food. That's what it almost looks like. Balaclava. BALACLAVA.
Clava is a clotting compound. Is it a bandage?
No.
I just made that up.
Okay.
Balaclava.
It could be a new drug. You notice how all the drug makers use this hideous names. But
balaclava sounds Greek. Balaclava.
I don't know its origin. Maybe you could look that up after we're done. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get it because.
Is it a noun?
Yes.
So it's a person.
I had to think about that because I'm not really sure. But yes, it is a noun.
Balaclava. Bala.
I used a lot of them as a kid.
So Bala comes from the island of Bali.
Oh, thank you for I would think this has because I know the definition. I think this has origins in the Middle East.
Ah, the balaclava. It's the piece of material that's under the carpet or the rug.
No, it's the ball that a cleaver sits in. I'm lying. I'm just making that up. Okay. I was trying to really throw you off. Think of how the women dress in the Middle East. And I said I used this a lot as a youth, and I grew up.
Is it a belt or something, or a mask?
No, I'll just give you. Well, what'd you say the second one?
Mask?
Yes, it's a ski mask. Is a balaclava
versus a toque.
Hey, sure.
Like a ski mask, like you would commit a crime with.
Yeah, it's a face covering, basically.
So you've worn a lot of that in your day.
Well, to commit crimes. Yes. No, growing up in the snow. Up in Pennsylvania. I've a couple people have said that word lately, and I'm like, where's it? Even my kids. Oh, it's a balaclava. I'm like, what? And so I looked it up. I'm like, oh, look at that. Ski mask was one of the synonyms.
Huh.
So there's two words for you to use at school this week, Dave.
Yeah.
Balaclava and slug-a-bed.
Slug-a-bed.
Mm-hmm.
I like gold brick.
Oh, well, I had something on that. Oh,
gold brick is someone who doesn't want to work and.
Yeah. No. See, now that's why I want to talk about that. What's the difference between gold brick and I had this as a question for us. Gold versus sandbagging. To me, gold bricking was sandbagging.
Well, I guess you could make the argument. Gold brick is someone who has my interpretation, because I lived a portion of this with somebody, is someone who could work and has the capability, but chooses not to abuse the system, to mooch, be a mooch
to get food stamps and stuff.
Yeah, whatever they can. I don't want to work because I can mooch off the system. Should we look it up real quick? What's her face?
Sure. My one.
Hold on, we'll come back to Sandbag in a second, though.
Well, Goldbrick was kind of the same.
I think Sandbag is, you have the ability to do it, but you're like, I would say on the football field, if I was coaching, you're taking a play off, you're sandbagging. I don't know. Hold on. Alexa, define gold brick.
As a noun, gold brick is usually defined as a brick made to look like gold, sold by a swindler. As a verb, gold brick is usually defined as to shirk responsibility or perform half-heartedly, loaf. For more, ask me to give you more definitions.
That's the sandbag, I guess.
Yeah, well, I use it in sports, generally speaking. Like in golf, you sandbag if you want to raise your handicap so that when you play in a tournament that uses your handicap, you're high, right? And it's easy to win. And I always call that gold bricking and or sandbagging.
Huh.
All right, folks. We're glad that wraps up this week's show.
I would think in a golf analogy, you'd be down there at the sand trap.
What you doing, sandbagging.
Sandbagging.
Yeah, I'm putting sand in a bag to take it with me. Right. To fill the divots, Dave.
That little thing on the back of your cart, you got a Ziploc, you open it. What are you doing? Sandbagging.
Sandbagging.
Or my friends say bagging sand, but I like to say sandbagging.
Sounds more professional that way.
Now, that sounds like something you've been drinking. All right. Wow.
Time flies.
Well,
so this week, my wife, and just to set maybe she won't appreciate this. Let me back up. Forget I even said my wife.
Dig a big hole.
Yeah, because she's not happy about this. My car was involved in a brief incident recently.
Yeah, you told us.
Did I?
Yeah, she got T-boned.
Yeah, but I don't think I said it on the show, did I?
Yeah, you did. I think so.
All right. And I talked about having to drive my son's car.
Was this the thing I wasn't supposed to say anything about?
No.
Go ahead.
Start no, but he has a standard shift car, which I have not driven in 30 years or so. And I can tell you there's no desire to ever own a standard shift car again after driving that in traffic for the last couple of days.
Does it have a synchronized clutch, or are you telling me
no? I got to hold the clutch in, and the inch along in first gear. And
what kind of car is it?
It's a 93 Acura. And to boot, he is, he has it pretty stiff and lower. He races it out on the track occasionally, on track days and things of that nature. So I have no liver left when I get to the office. All the freaking speed bumps there are in this country. Good Lord. It's just, it's
got
painful.
A little tight suspension.
Yeah, and I mean, I can barely get out of the thing. And he's got, the wind, the fairings on the side, the skirts on the side and stuff that make it it's tough to get out of that car, man. It's tough.
Is it fast? Is it that fast?
It's pretty fast. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. You could feel I took a turn in it the other day where I was kind of going through a yellow light. And I just went, I'll give it a shot and see what it's like. And it really hugs the road nice. And you could take that turn at a pretty good clip. But so I've been struggling with that and will be struggling for many, many weeks to come. I don't think I mentioned it before because I don't think it happens.
Well, I knew about it.
I think it happened the day of our last podcast. That's why. Okay. Maybe I mentioned it. But I don't think I talked about it on the show. So I don't know. Do you know how to drive a stick shift?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Shut up.
You drove tractors.
I drove trucks. All my trucks I had were I had an F100 Ranger, a 70. I always bought 76s. So I had an F100 76 4-speed. And then I had a F250 76 4-speed. And then I bought another F100 1976 on the 3 on the tree. And then I had another. I've had like 5 19. I don't know why I kept buying 76 Fords, but I liked them.
Because you were
redneck.
Patriotic.
Yeah. But yeah, all all those were not, the 250s were not synchronized clutch. So that my left leg was bigger than my right leg.
Yeah, especially the size of a clutch on that transmission probably took quite a bit.
Yeah, the F250, you could almost power shift. I mean, you really didn't
grind it.
You needed the clutch, but you could get away with it sometimes. Anyway, but no, I know it hurts your knee after a while.
Yeah.
Especially as old farts.
Exactly. And I was, everybody kind of just puts along. You could tell people with automatics, and maybe I'm guilty of it too, where when traffic's backed up, you kind of coast. You just let the engine idle power move you along slowly. But that doesn't work with a clutch.
No,
you either got to be going up in revs and holding it there, and you don't want to burn the clutch out, letting it rub against the flywheel. So, you're in and out on the clutch, and it just, it's painful. And I got a few months of this, I'm sure, ahead of me.
Well, you just go down to the dealership and pick up a new car.
What do you think I made of money, Dave?
Guy like you?
I got 2 kids in college, one living in London. You think I have the cash?
Must be doing something right. I don't know. Living right.
I don't know. I don't think my insurance gives me a rent-a-car. So unless you got, so that back to that question, I was wondering why, when we talked Wednesday night briefly, why you were bragging about being an F-150, and I was going to return to that question tonight, but you already answered that for us. So
it was.
Well, why did you need a bigger car?
Oh,
I guess it's 5 of you then, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, I drive a I drive a Hyundai Santa Fe.
Sweet.
Hyundai.
They're still around. They're still around.
No, it's a good car. It's a great. It's got some electrical issues with it. I was hoping the guys from South Korea could help me out with, but they had no idea. Hyundai, Hyundai.
Yeah.
So
piece of crap.
Yeah, you stupid Americans. But it would have fit everybody, but it doesn't have a third row seat, and so I was looking
luggage and everything else.
Yeah, so I was looking for a van, and my wife drives a compact. She drives a lot of miles, so we wanted to get something that had some good gas miles. So I just said let's be comfortable, because we went all the way down to St. Augustine one day, went out to Jack's Beach. I think there was a trip to the zoo that we were talking about. We never made it, thank God. It was kind of cold. It got kind of cold and rainy the last couple
What zoo do you have?
I think it's the Jacksonville Zoo. The North.
I don't remember that one.
I remember this Florida Zoo.
I remember as a kid, we used to go visit my grandma in Florida. I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and Florida was, and still is to some extent, right? And the kind of the outlaw mentality, right, as far as things go. And I know I'm not saying that the way I wanted to. I just meant things are a little bit more forgiving down there in terms of rules and regulations.
Okay.
You don't agree with that necessarily?
Maybe when we were kids.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I only said it once so far this week. We went to like a zoo, and I'm using my finger quotes, and they had a monkey that it wasn't in a cage, but it was chained to like one of those hooks in the middle, and it could run around, and it stole my mom's camera off her. And I remember it was taking pictures with like one of those Kodak Instamatics. And so we had slides, and you got everything processed back then. And so we got pictures of like the monkey taking pictures of everything's blurry and all over the place. But he got a hold of my mom, because the monkey, you were free to walk up to the monkey and pet it or whatever you wanted to do. But it was on a leash, I'll say.
Humane. Sounds humane.
Yeah, no, in this day and age, it wouldn't be considered humane anymore. But yeah, I mean, they had the gator show. I mean, all that stuff was down there. You could do things with animals in Florida that you couldn't find anywhere else. No, really? Don't give me that look. That's Mexico, Dave.
Bestiality, come to Florida.
I just meant, they had all the animal shows down.
Hey, we're a little bit lawlessness in Florida. Come down and experience bestiality. That's a neat ticket.
That's the new tourism slogan for Florida.
We got it all.
No, that's Massachusetts. That's taken. So you went with bestiality.
Tell the kids, tell the grandkids.
Yeah. It's okay here. No.
Yeah, that's a meeting, boardroom meeting we want to be in, right? And you got that company of yours. You go, no, let's not do that one. No, we're definitely going with bestiality. That's a good one.
I'd shy away from that one if I were you.
You're talking about animals, right? Yeah, it's gonna be a great idea.
It's great. People love animals.
People love dogs and cats.
Just let them take it to a new level. That's all.
I think we've gone too far.
Yes, we have.
I was the leader of that. Rather.
So yeah, and to that same thanks. I mean, there was Marineland. We used to go to Marineland every year.
Dolphins,
right?
They were doing one of those things,
right? They had them in a small tank, making them do tricks for food. You can't do any of that stuff these days.
It's so inhumane.
I'm always on the fence about that. Right?
Have you found a good recipe for the manatee yet?
No, they had manatees there. We
don't want Peter to call us about the manatee roast.
Speaking of behaving poorly, we in my high school, I took marine biology in my senior year, and we knew the teacher would always take us on a field trip to Marineland. So I had a fake ID, and he would always everybody knew the rules that you had to do like the dolphin show, but then the afternoon was free to run around the park and do whatever.
Were you drinking?
Just once, just one beer, and I had to split it with like 8 people, so it wasn't really.
But in your fake ID, because I know what you look like when you were.
Yeah, in college. Imagine what I looked like a senior in high school. I looked like a 10-year-old.
Was it 18 when you were a kid?
No, they raised it. It was 19.
It was 18.
Up until I turned 18. When I turned on my 18th birthday,
they were chasing it.
Yeah, they moved it to 21, and so I was always without. Most of you guys in college I hung out with could get into bars, and I was always left outside to watch the cars.
Yeah, that's what you were doing.
Yeah,
the monkeys. Chained monkeys. You want
to chained? Can you pay? I got to find a picture of that or something on the internet and look that one up.
I got pictures of monkey nuts. That's great. All right. Well, this is all in an effort to lure some more viewers on YouTube. We figured we would ASMR up a little bit, and get some
move around a little bit. Yeah. Say hi.
Anything else exciting before we call it quits?
No, I was trying to think of my week.
I had a week off from school. It's pretty cool.
You got the whole week off?
Yeah, it was weird.
Why'd you get the whole week off?
I don't know. They gave it to us. I took it.
So they took Monday through Friday off?
Yeah.
In Florida.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, in my county, Duval County didn't do that. Duval County was like Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Yeah.
I think we had a couple snow days built up.
So, yeah, they just said, Dave, don't worry about coming in tomorrow. You're like, okay. The kids were all there in class going, where's Mr. Theus?
Is Mr. Theus here? Nope. No, we had Monday, Tuesday. Was it Monday? I think we had Monday off. Maybe it was.
You don't even know?
Maybe it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know. It felt like a week. I was telling someone at school the other day, she says, so how was your week? And I said, it was great. We had a good time. But I say this all the time. As this when I was self-employed, now I'm an employee. I receive a 1099. No self-employment income ever.
Ever?
Well, not
even a dime.
Nope, not even a dime.
All right.
So I'm not used to not working. We didn't have vacations. We took you take a long weekend here. Maybe.
Well, you were self-employed for a long time, and not so much self-employed, but when you're working commission, you're kind of self-employed, right?
Yeah. So I was either an independent contractor or self-employed, and you just don't take time off
because you're afraid to, right?
Well, part of it's a fear motivator because you got to, keep the
maintain. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to keep
that rich lifestyle you were living down there. Yeah.
You got to keep the pipeline full, but I like work. I'm one of those weirdos that likes to work. And so
I used to.
Well, it's interesting now at 60. I get a week off. I'm like, this wasn't so bad. And when I came back, I'm like, so that Christmas break, how far along away is that? Are we far away from that? It's like 2 weeks.
Can I use PTO maybe to stretch the gap between?
I just don't like. I don't like the counting days part.
Right.
I don't want to be that guy. It's like, oh God, I just got back from 5 days off, and how many more days?
Yeah. I will say, when I took the buyout from my previous company in 2018, I had a job. My job was looking for a job, right? And that's how I treated it. And I think that's what made it a success in the end. But generally speaking, I had my afternoons off for taking, I would just take phone calls and stuff or make them. And so I puttered around in the garage throughout that period for 4 or 5 months. And I feel fully comfortable that I will be able to retire easily if and when that time comes.
So you think, as I always told my clients in the financial services business, when we get to the conversation about retiring, as we would get closer, I would say, listen, I want you to literally get a notebook and chronicle what you do over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. What are you talking about? I just want you to document, what time do you get up on Saturday? You go to church on Sunday, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Just document Saturday and Sunday. Well, that sounds stupid. Just do it. Shut up and get back to me. Well, then we'd meet, a week later and goes, well, this is what I did. Well, can you imagine that 7 days a week? And they'd go, you're going to be kidding me. I can't do this. Or some of them would go, yeah, I'm ready. When do I start? So most people can't do that. You got to find something to do.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. My computer is ringing bells in my head, and it mutes your microphone to me for some reason. Just like now it's occurring, so I won't be able to hear anything you say.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just now I can.
Well, because I wasn't speaking before. That's why.
But your lips were moving, which was odd. So if I can figure out where that's coming from, I will stop it.
Maybe it's your ears.
So one more thing before we fly this week. Did we talk about the pandas last podcast?
Is this the Chinese taking them back?
Yeah.
Bastards. We feed them, give them a place to stay. Now the lease is up, right? We leased them or something, didn't we? They want them back?
Yeah, they're taking them all back.
Is this? My wife said they've been doing this all along. That we get them on loan or something.
Well, they've always been on loan, but now they wanted them all back, like all of them now.
You know what that means, don't you?
It means the yen's going up.
Well, I don't know about the yen, but they're gonna start some shit probably.
So they're like, hey, before we invade America, let's get the panda. Let's get the.
It's like the State Department says, get out, get the stuff and get out. They're taking their pandas. It's like taking your ball and going home. I'm telling you, that's what it is. We need to send them a bill for all that damn bamboo and
everything else. Well, bringing bamboo over here. My God, it's a weed you can't get rid of. You ever had bamboo in your yard?
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Thanks, pandas.
Well, it's good cover. It's a good wall. Yeah. Well, you can't kill it either.
Thanks, Nixon.
Yeah.
For bringing the pandas over.
Richard, what a dick.
That's pretty good. Got me on that.
Yeah.
one.
So, are you equally upset about the panda thing?
I
mean, what's your feeling on it?
Well, I can't remember if I shared the story on here or not, but I think I did, where we went to the National Zoo, and me and my friends, we ran into the panda exhibit. This is back when Ling Ling was still there, and
Ping Pong.
Sing Sing. Ling Ling and Sing Sing, I think, were their names. So we ran in there, and we're looking, and there was all these pieces of paper kind of on the cage. It was glass, but there were all these things hanging up, and you couldn't see through them. So we're pushing them to the side, looking in. I'm like, where's Sing Sing? Where's Sing Sing? And one of us steps back and notices that all the pieces of paper are drawings from the kids at the local schools for the passing of Sing Sing. Sing Sing had died.
I thought you were going to say like one of those monkeys that scratched their face off or something.
No. So it was all.
You're in there hollering.
Yeah, where's this panda?
It's dead.
It's dead.
Did
So
they roast it? Did they put it on a rotisserie?
Yeah, along with the manatee roast, they had a panda roast.
They're not bears. They're not part of the bear family.
Well, yes, is that one? Even though it's called a what?
I think they're rats. If that's the case, they can have them. Screw them.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need another. Well, they certainly don't.
I think they're part of the rodent family. Rodent.
No way, because rodents.
I don't think they're bears.
Giant pandas. I mean, rodents are typical to I would say repopulating, but
yeah,
we're procreating quite quickly, and that's the biggest problem. I mean, they were showing
the reason the pandas don't is because we never leave them alone. You can't stop watching. Yeah. They can't ever get a break.
They gave them panda porn, and they still wouldn't do it. Remember that?
I don't remember that, but
yeah, the zoos were showing them panda porn in an effort to make them copulate.
Footage of pandas doing it.
I don't know what panda porn consists of. Hey, I tell you what. While I'm looking this up, why don't you Google panda porn on your PC and see
no. I don't need the federal government another reason to come by my house. Oh, panda porn, Mr. Theus, huh?
Yeah.
What you got going on over there?
I don't want to read all this. It's into the etymology and the classification, but
I think they're rats.
You're close. It shares characteristics with both bears and raccoons, and raccoon is a rodent to some extent, right?
I don't know.
It says, however, in 1985, molecular studies indicate the giant panda is a true bear, part of the family Ursidae. So there you go.
No, they're no American black bear, I tell you that, or grizzly brown bear.
No, but it does look like they reside they are in the same classification as polar bear, brown bears. But giant panda is kind of off on its own. So
we're on the ark. Were there two of them? Guess so. Huh?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, there's two of every animal.
I guess so.
Do you think he put ants on the ark?
I think they got a free ride. Those guys.
The ants?
He must have, because he talks about it in Scripture. Galatians, be like the ant. Talks about work and how we're supposed to go to work, and because the ant never has no
Galatians.
Master. Yeah, I think it's Galatians 6. I think it is, or something. The ant
now you're making up stuff.
No, I'm not. The ant has no master, and he stores up for the off season, and he never stops working. Be like the ant, you sluggard. Look it up. Google that.
I was going to say it was an Aesop fable. The grasshopper.
No, I think that's the text. Be like an ant, you sluggard. That's another word for lazy person.
Maybe we'll make that'll be the second piece of merch we sell. Right. First is the old man shaking his fist at the clouds.
I have a t-shirt idea for the ant thing about work.
You gonna share it? You're just gonna hold on to that one.
It's that verse. Be like the ant, you sluggard. But I didn't think people would understand it. And how many people want to buy a shirt that has ants on it?
Well, they're not live ants or anything.
Unless you're at a picnic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. We learned a little bit about giant pandas. Hey, before we do wrap up this week, though, I think we're getting at the head end of that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. We started late.
Yeah, because we were talking business for so long at the beginning there. Before you remember to hit record. But if you do have questions, there is a email address they can send those to, which is daveandwoodypodcast@gmail.com. So I would appreciate it.
Well, I want to give you props on something. You've done a nice job with that graphics that you've been putting in on the screen.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And so I would rather that we promote that people subscribe. Okay. And I always feel uncomfortable about that, but I watch about 6 different YouTube shows, and I'm always trying to gather how they do that, and it's just an ask for the order is what we're doing.
Yeah,
subscribe. We need you to subscribe. It helps us.
You can find us on YouTube at We Can Help with Dave and Woody.
Yeah. So what else you got going on in your life? What's another subscription? Is it really going to hurt you? I mean, it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, it's just a click of the
mouse. Instead of having 40 subscriptions, you got 41. Big deal.
Right. And if you want, click the bell. The bell's up for you. That just reminds you that I finally got around to loading a new show. And I try to load them on if you want to listen early, go to Spotify and stuff. Yeah. If you want to wait for the video portion, I post those on Sunday after the Wednesday recording.
Because it takes him a while to sober up.
Well, it takes Dave a while to finally send me the file so I can edit it and put it together.
He's always got a way of spinning it back.
On someone else. It's never my fault, Dave. I'm part of the millennials. I have adopted that position.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault. Don't look at me.
You boomers, you destroyed the earth.
That's right.
All right, we better stop there. Is that it? Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, I think no housekeeping this week. I probably do. But it's not it's car washing night here at the Woody household. So
I have a special treat.
Do you?
Tonight is
Lord,
ukulele tuning night at Dave's house.
Now, why do you have this?
I don't know. It's my daughter, Sarah. One of the many things she thought she would take on after she's a golfer,
I think you've mentioned that.
About $10,000 on golf clubs. No, not that much. And she does very well in golf, but she was at a summer camp, I think, and someone had a ukulele, and she goes, I think I want to learn how to do that. So we went and bought one. It's called a Luna. And by the way, we are not sponsored by this. We receive no funds whatsoever for any sponsorship.
Right. Apparently, unless it's on YouTube.
Not yet. Anyway, so Luna is the manufacturer. I said that before. Let's give a big shout out to Luna. They make a great product, although we get no money or compensation for that.
I think Luna was the bear's name on A Bear in the Big Blue House.
Really?
Yeah. One of my kids' favorite shows.
It's got a nice tone to it. It's not tuned, but I found a couple apps on my phone. You know what we should do? I think I'm willing to do this. That maybe we could watch the progression of Dave learning how to play this thing.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Put hours and hours of you. We'll make it a second sub channel on YouTube.
No. It'll be the ASMR. Listen as Dave strums the ukulele. He strums a lot of stuff. But anyway, so what I'm thinking is
that what you call your ukulele? Honey, I'm going to practice the ukulele again.
Don't mind Dad. He's in this room with the ukulele.
I don't hear anything.
I think there was a guy that played nose guard for Jaguars. He used to say "loping the mule."
Loping the mule.
Loping the mule. It's kind of like strumming
your
euphemism,
ukulele. Huh? All right.
All right. Anyway, so this is a kid show. Thank you. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. So I think what I'll do is I'll try this app because it says it teaches you how to tune them, strum them, and apparently popular tunes that you can learn how to play. I don't know.
I believe my brother is a fairly accomplished ukulele player.
Aren't they all like Hawaiian songs though that you end up playing?
Yeah, you got one Tiny Bubbles
or something.
Yeah, Tiny Bubbles, all that kind of stuff you need to learn.
Yeah, so I will give it my best effort as the musician that I am, and I will demonstrate over next week.
Have you played instruments? Can you read music?
I can.
Really? I think folks, I think he's lying.
No, so be careful because I have a flugelhorn in the closet.
It wasn't your flugelhorn.
No, it's I started off on a cornet. You don't know what that is. And
yes, I do.
Then I moved to trumpet.
Because when I was in third grade, we could pick an instrument to play, and I picked the cornet. And they said, no, we're going to teach you trumpet.
Yeah, that was a misnomer. But anyway, so I went to trumpet, and I loved the trumpet. I was good at the trumpet, but I didn't like the shrill of the trumpet. I like the more baritone modular tone. So I moved to a baritone, which is you have to learn bass clef, read bass clef or treble. I could never get bass clef, so I could read treble.
Right.
And then I could sight read a trombone, which is interesting because they don't write any treble for trombone. It's all in bass clef. I could freestyle it. But
is that what you're calling it? That's so you went from freestyling on the trombone to strumming your ukulele.
So now, look at this. It's like your analogy. What was the guy that plays the guitar the size of a bass.
Cello, yeah.
So I'm gonna be the panda bear with a
small guitar, with a little tiny guitar. Yeah, maybe you could write as a theme song someday, Dave.
Yeah, well, play us out, Dave.
Yeah, there you go, and I'll record it, and we'll go from there.
And we'll have the rights to it, and they can suck it. Anyone who wants to copy it.
Exactly. They can't cancel us. We should
end right here. This is where we need to end. Okay. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, who are you?
Oh, that's right. I'm Dave.
I'm Woody.
And this is We Can Help with Dave and Woody. This has been a great episode, and I look forward to seeing you guys next and listening. Whatever.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. I got to do my part.
Yeah,
Bye.
you got to hit the button.